Let's bring in Republican Senator from Mississippi, Roger Wicker, who's also chair of the National Republican Senatorial Committee. Senator, I need to ask you, these are critical swing states, a whole bunch of them that are coming up. Do you have enough money to hand out, to salt to some of these campaigns to hold on to the seats that you would like to see?
Well, I think we will have enough money, and clearly the public is out there right now, and I could go ahead and make an appeal. We are going to need to take our message to 24 states to defend those, and then we think we can pick up 2 or 3 Democrat seats. We had great success 6 years ago, and when you do well 6 years ago, you got a lot of seats to defend here in 2016. But on balance, we feel good. We are still raising money, and we think in the end we're going to have the resources we need.
I know it's tempting to talk about Ohio, Florida, and Pennsylvania, but the GOP incumbents lead there. Let's talk about the other states where President Obama won twice. Those states are up for re-election. You've got Illinois, Iowa, New Hampshire, Wisconsin. Those ones are important, and what do you need to do, and how much money do you need to win those states?
Well, without getting into details about exactly what the budget is, I feel good about all of those states. You mentioned Wisconsin. Ron Johnson came to the convention, took time away from his campaign yesterday, made an outstanding speech. I think helped himself quite a bit. Iowa, I think Chuck Grassley is in really good shape. You know, Pennsylvania is a state that I think will be competitive in at the top of the ticket, but Pat Toomey is strong there. He's also leading in the polls, and I think he will continue to lead. They're going to throw a ton of money at us there. New Hampshire, Kelly Ayotte looks very, very good, and the reason is that she's just an outstanding excellent, accomplishment-driven member of the United States Senate, and I think the type of person that people in New Hampshire want to keep on the job.
We were earlier showing some pictures of Rob Portman of Ohio. Rob Portman, Marco Rubio, and Ms. Ayotte, they've all kept their distance from the RNC. They're spending a lot of time campaigning in their states. Look, I guess the question is this perceived at all as keeping their distance from Donald Trump so that they can win those states from perhaps centrist voters who don't really attach themselves to what appears to be a harder and harder line during this convention?
Let me tell you, Liz, I think at the end of this week we're going to see a Trump bounce. He'll probably be ahead in the polls by the end of the week. And so I'm comfortable saying Donald Trump has a real good chance of being the next president of the United States. That said, it's okay if you run your own race like a sheriff's race, state by state. And I think the thing for Rob Portman to do is run on his record, run on the ability to get an opioid bill passed as we left for the summer recess, get it passed with Republican and Democrat votes, get it sent to the White House where it will be signed. He is an excellent senator and somebody that has accomplishments to point to. So if I were Rob Portman, I would run on my accomplishments, and that's exactly what he's doing. I think in Florida, there was a great hue and cry for Marco Rubio when he wasn't advanced to the general election at the presidential level to come back and be our senator again. And I think that that's the reason he's leading in the polls against either of the Democratic challengers. So we feel very, very good about that.
You know a little bit about running. You've been reelected 7 times. You've been elected 7 times. I'll tell you, looking at what you've done in your life, having served in the U.S. Armed Forces, I find it so interesting always that people like you could go off and be really successful business people. We're a business network, obviously. You've decided to give your time and so much of your life to this nation, the tone, because I'm a firm believer that much of America is centrist. They're, perhaps they lean socially left, but they definitely are fiscally right. What do we need to do to get more people together and get more movement and success for this great country?
Well, you're kind to say that. Actually, I was elected a number of times to the House of Representatives, twice now to the United States Senate. And listen, it's a great opportunity for service, no question about it. I would commend to young people to read Mitch McConnell's recent book, The Long Game. I mean, this is someone who aspired at a very early age to public service, and he makes the point that an instant gratification of winning an election is one thing, having an issue turn your way is one thing, but having accomplishments and stacking them up for the long game is really what it's all about. I would also commend to our viewers to look at today's Wall Street Journal lead editorial and talk about the accomplishments that this Republican Senate and Republican House of Representatives have given the American people this year, not only in the things we prevented this Obama administration from doing, but also in the 31 bills that we have sent to the president, got them signed into law. That hasn't happened since 1990. So it's an honor for me to serve, but it's a thrill to actually get some accomplishments done on a bipartisan basis, signed into law by the President of the United States. That is a noble calling, and I appreciate you saying that.
Yep, I call it like I see it, Senator. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're very kind.
Senator Roger Wicker.
Thank you.
There in Cleveland.